Some people say we have nothing to do with it, we're just taking care of our religious aspect, but it's the importance of the religious and the political is it's inevitable. It's a very important and interesting one. There was a call from the Presbyterian Church in Taiwan that they needed somebody just for 2 years. And so they said, it's not necessary to learn Taiwanese because other people can translate for you. You're going to be here for 2 years, but it turned out to be 10. We started in 1975, and then we were dismissed and had to leave. When the communists in China gained the upper hand, then Chiang Kai-shek, who was of the other party, the Kuomintang, they were then pushed out and they sought refuge in Taiwan. And there they imposed the same thing that the communists did to the Chinese in mainland. So he escaped with his about 2 million others, particularly military and administrators and so on. But there were 2 million. Well, the Kuomintang, Chiang Kai-shek, imposed immediately that nobody can speak Taiwanese. You have to speak Mandarin, which is the language that's spoken in mainland. So that's a way to transform a person from one culture to another. And eventually the Chiang Kai-shek was as repressive as the communists on mainland China. The conditions the working people were atrocious. They were subhuman. People working 29 days or 30 days a month for 14 hours a day, and even the young people. There was no labor legislation, and the housing was poor and so on, and the church spoke out and said, when the chemical companies dump their rubbish and the dangerous materials that they have, it just runs in open canals in the streets. That's not the way we have to do it, you know. We can't. Anyway, they then issued that there has to be a change, and we are fighting for that. And they were accused again, and the government said, or the regime said, it's not your business. You know, you know the whole story about Jesus asking people what the side of the coin was, and there's a picture on one side with the emperor, and he said, well, you take care of the taxes and we'll take care of the rest. And of course that was a cheap way, but the church had become, and other people understood too, that we have a right to our own identity. This is a very important statement, and of course it has democratic implication. Under the leadership of President Nixon, he sent somebody to Taiwan, and they came to an agreement that he let the Taiwanese know that the United States now, after 27 years, was no longer blocking the entry of the People's Republic of China to take the place of the Chiang Kai-shek regime. And so it happened. And the People's Republic took place, and Chiang Kai-shek was sitting back home in Taiwan. And that's why the religious and political are so close. They're not the same. But there were then spirits in the Presbyterian Church in Taiwan, and they suddenly woke up and said, "No, we've been thrown out of the United Nations. We're nobodies now. You see, we're not a nation anymore. It's the mainlanders who are in there. Who are we? Are we not somebody? Do we not have an identity of our own?" And so they issued the first statement, public statement, saying that we are nobodies, but we are saying we need to have elections. We have to decide to whom are we going to belong. Are we going to belong with mainland China, with the communists, or are we under the regime that we have now in Taiwan with Chiang Kai-shek, who claims himself to be the Republic of China? Or are we neither this nor that, but we are ourselves? That is to say, we have a right as individuals to decide for ourselves who we are going to be. And of course, this public statement, it was a tremendous. It was like a lightning. And the United States says this is rubbish. And the Chinese in mainland said, this is not possible. And of course, the Chiang Kai-shek said, no, never. There's no chance that you will be anybody else except our people. So, but the thing, this had awakened the people of Taiwan, and that, of course, is a clear Christian motivation. God has created each person an individual. We have a right to a name. We have a right to have a piece of land or the country. Not that we are so, that caused the beginning of a serious conflict between the Presbyterian Church, which was the biggest church in Taiwan in terms of membership at the time, still is, and the regime. So there wasn't any, and so the Chiang Kai-shek began to put the pressure on, and the pastors were imprisoned, and passports were eliminated. The motivations for a person's identity and the person's right to be herself and or himself is fundamental. That's religious, you see. Democracy is not a religious term, but as Presbyterians, we don't have any bishops. We have elders who, with the pastor who is an elder also, they direct the church, and that's the substance. And it's really it's a thrilling chapter in my own life. I learned a lot about about the importance of not being religious, but being political in a sense that is humane, and it is in this real sense Christian. Yeah.